Lisa from Pretty Fabulous, and this week I thought I would do something a little different and show you how I create a new product for the store. Now, if you've ever been to my store on Creative Market, you'll notice that I put multiple downloads into each product. So, for example, the #1 best-selling product, if you're wondering, on here is the weekly calendar. And the weekly calendar design actually comes with 4 different layouts included inside of it, and you can see they're all pretty colorful. These are my favorite colors, so that's why I chose to use them. And these different layouts are all weekly calendars. Now, I really like the at a glance calendar that you can purchase that does pretty much the whole day, not just a horizontal or unlined version like this. You can actually put appointments in hour by hour. So I thought I'd add one. So this is the layout that I have right now for the new weekly layout that I'll be adding to that weekly calendar InDesign template. And so this will now have 5 different styles in it. So let's talk about how do you make this particular style. It's pretty easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead in InDesign and we're going to create a new document. So over here, I'm going to make this a standard 8.5 by 11, and I want it to be portrait, and I need facing pages because I have a left and a right side, and I'm not going to worry too much about the column gutter. In fact, I don't even care. I'm just going to make it 0. I do want a 1-inch margin all the way around because these are printables, and I'm going to assume that someone is going to 3-hole punch right here in the middle, and they're going to need at least an inch in order to not bleed into those circles. So let's go ahead and say create. So now here I have my blank document. Now if I go to pages over here at the top right, and if you don't see that, you can just go to window and make sure pages is selected, and I'm going to add 2 more pages. 1, 2. All right, so now I have a left and a right side. So over here on the left side, I am going to simply put the header. So if I look over at my original, it is the first week of January. Actually, let me back up. Before I do that, I'm going to load a few different swatches that I need. So over here in character styles, to make my life easier, I'm going to go to this drop-down menu and say load character styles. And I'm simply going to load that character style that I just created, the weekly layout, and I'm going to say OK. And same thing with swatches. Actually, all my swatches are defaulted in there, so I'm OK. All right, so if you don't know how to do that, I did have another tutorial on how to use character styles and also how to load swatches from one particular InDesign document to another. All right, so I just want to put my title up here, so I'm just going to create a text box over here, and I'm going to say January 01 to January 07. And that is not the font that I want to use, nor the colors. In fact, hold on, I kind of forgot. Oh, all right. All right, so those character styles are, I believe, the Dido large, and that is going to be, I'm going to change that color. All right, so that's the color I want to use. If you look at my branding, this is my branding colors, so it's the more of the rose gold. So that's a little bit hanging off to the edge, so we're just gonna nudge that over just a little. There we go. So now it's perfect. Is that what I have? That is what I have. All right, now for over here, I'm going to make another text box. So I'm just going to copy and paste this because I know it's perfectly lined up. And so if you see those green lines there, it's just helping you to align those to the top and the bottom. And I am going to right justify this, and I'm simply going to make this 2018. Now over here, I need to put the days of the week. So I'm going to use text boxes. I'm not going to use a table. And I'll tell you why in a minute. We're going to put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on the left, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the right. So over here, I'm just going to put in Monday, and I'm going to change this to the style I want, which is days of the week. Now I want to center this right here, and I want the text centered as well. And what color did I put back there? I put like a light pink. So let me change this over here so it matches with that light pink. And I also have my standard text color of my charcoal. All right, so I'm simply going to copy and paste this and put this right over here. So that's Tuesday, and this will be Wednesday. Oops, let me line it up. And this will be Friday. So InDesign will help you if you see that it just kind of locks in. Now it doesn't span the whole way, but we can fix that pretty easily. So I'm just going to select all of those 4 text boxes, and then I'm just going to pull all of them out here, and you can see those green lines guide me and kind of help me again along the way. And now it's lined up perfectly. Now I only have 3 days on the right I need, so I'm only going to copy 3 of these boxes and drag them over here to the right. And again, the green lines are going to guide and help me, and I need to change this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whoops, and Sunday. All right. Now I need to create a table underneath for all of those days, those time slots that we have over here. So I am going to create a text box, and I'm going to just eyeball it and make it about yay tall. How's that? Now that I have a text box, I can add a table. Just so you know, you can't add a table without having a text box first. All right, so our table over here at the top is pretty easy. We're going to go to Table, Insert Table. Now I'm going to guess about 26 rows, and the reason I came up with that is because I know that I want 13 hours on this table, and they're going to be split into half-hour increments, so I'll double that into 26. And for columns, I'm going to say 4 because we have 4 days of the week, and I don't need a header or a footer, and I'm just going to leave it as a basic table, so I'll say okay. All right, so here is our table of the different days. So let's go ahead and add time slots over here. So let's start it at 7 a.m. And over here, so first let's just style this. I don't like that text, so I'm going to use my time character style. There we go. So I'm going to copy this and just paste it over here. Whoops. Let me just copy the text. There we go. Not that whole box. So this is going to be 8, 9, 10, 11, and now we have 12 p.m. So we'll switch this to P, and now I'll copy and paste this one because we have PMs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let me go back and we'll make this 1 p.m., 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I could probably add a couple more lines down here. So I am going to, if you see, I'll just make that little arrow on the left if I hover right around the edge of that table, and I'll right click and I'll go to insert, and I'm going to insert rows. So I want to insert rows below, and let's say we're going to go to maybe 10. So what is that? 2, 4. So we'll add maybe 6 more rows. See how that looks. There we go. So we can go ahead and make that 8 p.m., 9, and 10. All right, it's 8, whoops, 9, and that's probably too much. I'm gonna just go ahead and stop at 9. So let me get rid of these columns. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete them. All right, now I don't want, I only want times, I want times here, and I want times on the right. So I'm going to highlight all of these cells. I'm going to hit Control C. I'm going to go over here and highlight the same number of cells and hit Control V. Now this is important. You have to highlight the same number of cells or it's not going to work. I'm going to change the justification over to the right, And I also don't like the look of these boxes. Now, how do I know what these boxes look like? Because I have all these guides over here. All I have to do is make sure my selection tool is hit and hit W, and then I can see what this looks like without the guides inside there. So let's go back here, and I'm going to go ahead and change. Remember, this is a text box, so I have to make sure the text tool is selected. I'm going to select all of these boxes, and I'm going to right click, go to cell options, and go to strokes and fills. And I want it to match that nice pink that I have up there, and it's a lighter pink actually, and I want the weight to be 0.5 because I want it nice and light. And now let's look at it again, and that's much better. So I have lines, but they're not overbearing. All right, so let's go back to our view where we can see our margins, and let's do the same thing on the right. Now over here, we're going to do the same thing. I could copy and paste, but I'll show you just how to make a table again. So same thing, I'm going to eyeball it about to here. And once I have the text tool blinking, I'm going to go insert table. Now this time, because I added those extra rows, this is actually 30. If I did my math right, and the columns are 3. So we'll go ahead and say okay. And over here, we do not have to write these all over again. We can simply copy these. So, whoops. Copy, and same thing, I'll go down here and I'll paste those. And same thing over here, I'll paste those. Now, again, I want to make sure, whoops, these are right justified. And I also want to change the strokes so that those boxes match the ones on the left. So I'm going to go to cell options, strokes and fills, and I'm going to change that color to that light pink, and I'm going to change the weight to 0.5. And now it should look just like the left. So let's go ahead and W, and there we go. So now they both match. So this is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So let's go back to W because I like seeing my margins. So I have guides. And over here on the right, I'm going to create another box. I'm just going to take this text box over here, Control C and V, copy and paste it, and put it over here. Now it's a little too close for me. I think I left a little space. Yes, I did. So let's go ahead and make this just a tad smaller. So we'll shrink this in, and we will change this text to do. All right, I did change that color, didn't I? Oh yeah. So what I did to differentiate Saturday and Sunday is I changed these boxes. So let's go ahead and go back here because these are text boxes. They're not tables. And I want to change the fill to be that darker pink, and I'm going to change the text to be white. Now over here, I wanted this text box to be that brown, and I want the text to be white. So it shows up. There we go. Now I have a box underneath. So over here, I'm going to grab the rectangle tool, and I'm going to eyeball it and just make a box underneath. And as you can see, my green helpers just popped up out of nowhere again. So I like those. And I want to put a stroke that matches that. So I'm going to make those brown. And now that's brown. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm just going to hit Control C and V, and then I'm going to drop this in underneath there, and we're going to call this goals. And over here, I'm going to do that again. Hit Control V, and we're going to drop this in over here, and my green helpers popped up again, and we're going to change this to budget. And let's add another one. So I'm hitting Control V again, and let's move this guy up a little, and we'll make this guy bigger. Okay, so over here under to do, I'm going to leave this as that charcoal color, but this one I'm going to make that darker pink. So I'm going to change that background to the dark pink, and I'm going to change this rectangle frame as well. I'm going to change the stroke down here so it matches, and then I'm going to make this one the light one, and whoops, And we need to change the text because it's too light for the white to be visible. And we're going to change that box to match it. All right. So now everything should be in line. Let's move this over. And matchy matchy. And let's go ahead and look at our file without the guides. All right, so this is not a light pink, so we'll just change this now. All right, now everything matches up. I don't know why these text boxes are a little too big. Shrink them in. There we go. And same thing over here. Okay, now we're all set. So we have exactly the same layout that you saw previously. And if you want, you can update it with, I guess you could add something down here. You still have some white space down here. Let's go back so we can see our margins. So we still have some room down here. We could put another box. So let's say we wanted to put, keeping with this sort of theme, let's copy these and drag them down here to the bottom. And maybe what we're going to do is we're going to make this line up with that bottom box. And we can call this something like quotes. So we have a big box for quotes. I actually like this color, so we'll grab this and we'll drop this down here. And again, the green guides came in to help me so that I'm lined up with the other box on the left. And I'm going to drop this over here. And I'm going to just call this fitness. There we go. All right, so let's check this out one more time. And I kind of like this. So it matches my rose gold theme. The lines here are pretty small, so you can still write stuff in. Maybe these are a little big, so it might be a little hard to write text into those particular boxes. So if I want to, I could go back. Now, these are character styles. So the nice thing about this is I can change just that time character style over here. If I double click this and I want to make it, I have preview on so I can see it. And let's say I want to make it smaller. And did you see that? It changed all of them on the entire page. So I'm going to make that might be too small. I'm going to make that maybe an 8. And say okay. And that's a great way. The reason I love character styles is because it's a great way to make a couple changes and it changes your whole document without me having to click in here and change each and every single box. That would take forever. So that's the nice thing about character styles. And I think it's crazy if you're not using them. They're such a time saver. Now I have 2 really great helpful downloads for you. The first is the cheat sheet. So I know I went kind of fast in that lesson, and although you can pause it, I think it's always helpful to have the steps just written out for you. So once you opt in for the download, you can get this cheat sheet right here, and it has all 25 steps included in the cheat sheet and also directions on where to purchase this template. So if you want, you can actually just purchase this template from the store, and I'll show you how to do that. So on the Pretty Fabulous Designs, you can go to, that's not it, you can go to the shop, and once you're on the shop, you will see the newest template at the top, which is the weekly layout planner. And from here, once you click purchase, it's going to take you to the purchase page, and you'll get a login and password automatically emailed to you once you complete your purchase. Now, once you complete that purchase, you'll click the login button from the website. And once you log in, you can go to all courses. And from this menu, it's not a course, but you'll see at the bottom where it says shop. And once you click the shop, you will see all the purchases that you've made from the shop. shop, and you should see your weekly layout planner right here. And this will be your download of the planner that we just went over, as well as you'll get 4 other different styles. So in here in the shop, if you click through here, you can see all of the different layouts that you're going to get. All right, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.